14 WILI and 95.3 FM presents Hometown Threads, a closer look at our community and the people that make it go. Every week, you'll hear uplifting stories from our local businesses and our neighbors. Now, here's our host for Hometown Threads, Keith C. Rice.
Episode 141 of Hometown Threads on 14 WILI, 95.3 FM, Willimantic Today Facebook, Spectrum 192, and, did I say Willimantic? Yeah, I said Willimantic Today. And, of course, the WILI Radio YouTube channel, which if you haven't subscribed for free, what are you waiting for? Go to YouTube. We're all on YouTube these days. Just search WILI Radio. And you can obviously listen to the show every Tuesday, 5:05 to 5:30 on WILI. But you can go back and watch previous episodes, obviously this episode, and a bunch of our other great talk shows on WILI, on the WILI Radio YouTube channel. Big thanks to Liberty Bank, been our sponsor since day one in November of 2022. Hard to believe the show is going on 4 years old now. Couldn't do it without my man, J. Matt Rupar. We'll get to him in just a sec. But Liberty Bank, 3 great local locations. Across the street from the station at 679 Main Street, Willimantic. 1703 West Main Street, managed by my wife, Marianne. And down the street in Mansfield on Route 195, Liberty Bank, be community kind. J. Matt Rupar, if you'd be so kind and say hello to the fine folks.
Hello.
I am honored. And we've been trying to make this happen for quite some time. Probably because she doesn't live in the area anymore, but she's a Wyndham Willimantic legend. And seriously, I mean, I'm a little nervous doing this show, to be honest with you. And I never usually have notes, but I need it for her because we grew up together, went to grade school, we're a year apart. Colleen Healy, it was a pleasure to have you back in here because I think you said you did something with Wayne years ago, right?
I did. Well, first of all, thanks to Wayne-O for remembering my birthday every year. As I get older, though, I'm not so sure, but I appreciate it. I think since high school, which was decades ago. So thank you for Wayne-O for being really a supporter of my career and my birthday. But yeah, we went to grammar school together.
Oh, man. SMSJ.
Yeah.
Proud alums. Well, I shouldn't say alum because I brought this up before. It's, by the way, St. Mary, St. Joseph School. We call it SMSJ now. But I didn't finish. I went to 6. Did you finish?
Oh, I was K through 8.
So she stuck it out.
That's right.
Kramer.
Yeah, I was all in, and it really changed my life. Those kids, there's 20 in a classroom. You literally grow up together. So I talk about SMSJ all the time. Bobby Turner and I are still closely in touch. We're just texting this week, and we'll talk about it. But a lot of pivotal moments happened in my life that really, I think, changed the trajectory of who I'd become. So big props to SMSJ.
I wasn't going to bring up this SMSJ moment because I thought when you mentioned through a text that I have a story about you, I thought she's going to bring up this story. I got a little nervous. I had a few second grade crushes.
You did?
You were one of them. Tara Risley was one of them.
Yeah.
I never this.
I love Tara.
Listen,
you had good taste. You had good taste. I think you gave me one of those little Valentine's cards.
Story. I thought you were gonna.
You gave me a Valentine's card.
When Colleen sent me a text, I got a story about it.
That wasn't the story. I have another story.
She's gonna mention the ring I took out of my mother's. As a second grader, I don't know what was going through my mind. I took a ring out of my mother's jewelry case and brought it and handed it to Colleen. What were we thinking in second and third grade? I'm like, what was I?
I think you had good taste. I think you're a little ahead of your.
As a second grader, though,
yeah, listen, you're well advanced before your age, right?
Do they do that these days?
I don't think they do, but I mean, I think that's pretty legendary right there. So.
That's a story I thought you were going to go to.
I was not, and to be honest, I don't remember the ring, but I'll never forget it now.
The card, right?
I do remember the card. It was a little heart-shaped. We all handed them out. And I did recall you had a crush. Can I tell you the story, though?
Oh, boy, here we go.
So St. Mary, St. Joseph's, we would have a play every year, and it was Fiddler on the Roof.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember standing in Miss Lavoie's classroom.
Miss Lavoie.
And we all had to stand there and watch each other try out. And we had to sing a little excerpt of If I Were a Rich Man. And Keith tried out, I think Alex Young, but he was there.
I think all the guys did probably.
Yeah, and me, Colleen Healy, the only girl, tries out. You talk about a progressive school, right? St. Mary St. Joseph's is a Catholic school, and I, Colleen Healy, the girl trying out as a Jewish milkman. And I got the part, right? So I try out, and I walk by you, and you're like, you're good. You deserve it. You got it. And I love that about you because I was always, the only girl in all these arenas.
Well, we looked up to you in so many ways because of that confidence. I mean, and look what on the basketball court, you played softball. I mean, we all looked up to you in so many ways because you were so confident.
Yeah, and I will say, so, Turner and Potvin and all the boys that allowed me to play, not allowed me, Mr. Shippey allowed me to play in the boys team, again at St. Mary's St. Joseph School, the only girl playing against all boys in the league.
Boy,
but the way you treated me with respect, I mean, that's what belonging is. Belonging is how we treat people around us. I was different. So, I didn't fit in because I was a girl, but I belonged because of people like you. When I did things, said you should have that part and you should be here.
Remember kickball?
I do remember, but I want to give you credit for, at a young age, yes, you gave me the ring, and man, you were ahead of your time, but you also gave me credit that you're not a boy, and this is a boy's part, but you deserve it, and that was really...
I was driving in today debating, guys, tell this story.
No, it's pretty cool, and it says
doesn't watch the show anymore,
a lot about who you are. I'm trying to compliment the guy. Look, he really doesn't feel good about it. But it shows who you are when you do the show, when I listen to the show. You've always been authentic, and you've been a good, generous person. And for me to remember that at 55, I'll say my age, that's how much it stood out to me. And I didn't want to forget thanking you for that.
And just, the text that you were sending me leading up to this, like, oh my God, I'm so excited. Like, she's so excited to come on my show.
Oh, for
like,
sure.
Oh my God.
For sure.
All right, so back to like St. Mary's, and I know, this show flies by before, it's over before we can blink.
Yeah.
You mentioned a lot of pivotal moments. Let's move on from St. Mary's, St. Joseph, and then it was on to, Wyndham, right?
Yep.
So this is where things really started to pick up because I should know this. Are you in the Wyndham High Athletic Hall of Fame yet? Because
I'm not.
What are they waiting
started.
for?
Well, it just started, right? So it's the second year. I mean, I'm hopeful someday. So I was all-state basketball 2 years. I was all-state softball. We won many big Little East or whatever we were tournaments. But it's just like when I talk to my teammates, we very rarely remember what happened on the field or on the court. It's all about the friendships that you create playing sports, right?
When someone gives you a ring in second grade.
That's right. It's the shared experiences like that. You remember the way people make you feel.
Those games, whatever. Some of that stuff's blurry these days. Like,
yeah, I mean, we went to the quarterfinals, and here's a funny story. We played against. We beat Rockville. I think I went 17 for 18 on the free throw line to go to the quarterfinals, which is a big claim to fame. Bobby Turner was in the stands, and Pete Vanderhyde, like with great support. We went to the quarterfinals against Holy Cross. And Coach Ryan was there recruiting a girl for Holy Cross. And we lost, but I don't know how many points I had. But this guy comes out of the stands and said, keep shooting. And someone said, you know who that is? And it's Coach Ariema. He doesn't remember this at all. So, but those are the types of things, right? These things that seem to not be important were important at the time. So, Wyndham, of course, gave me another platform to play a sport, to make great friends, to win championships. I scored 1,000 points, et cetera, but it opened the door to going to college. I mean, my parents didn't go to college. I was the first in my family to go to college. If I hadn't been good in sports, I probably wouldn't have considered it. And because I was able to stand out, someone said it was University of New Haven, you want a scholarship, softball and basketball. I said, absolutely. Give me a chance. I wouldn't end up there.
And they were D2 then. I don't think
they were D2. Yes, they were D2 at the time, and I played one semester there before transferring to Eastern.
Let's fast forward to that. So, first of all, I got to ask you, basketball or softball? Which one would you choose?
Oh, yeah. Well, basketball, you can make up for a mistake right away. Basketball, you can miss a shot and just, go play defense and try to redeem yourself. But softball was fun. I mean, I love softball. I love being out in the field. I love the whole environment. But basketball was going to take me where I wanted to go, and it allowed me to be a little more gritty and physical, which is really my game, was tenacity, defense. And so it was probably more fit to my personality than softball.
So you left UNH because you wanted to come home and play at Eastern. Tell us a little about that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a long story. I had a death in the family. I was 18 years old. I realized at that point, if I'm going to make decisions about who I want to be, it's time to do it now. And Miss Cody in 6th grade had us write down, what do you want to be, 30 years down? And I'd hoped to play Division I basketball, go to the Olympics. Wow. And I remember that. And I said, I let myself down. I wasn't a good student at Wyndham, to be honest. I was a great student at University of New Haven, which allowed me to realize I could pass a class. But I also had played the nutmeg games with Laura Lishnas, Carrie Bascom, Debbie Bear, and I knew I could hold my own. So my goal was, as I went to Eastern, that I was going to try out for UConn. I just luckily knew Jeff Anderson, Diana Pepin, Heidi Haggerty, all of these people that were at Eastern, and was able to be on the softball team. We won that national championship in 1991 with my teammate, Diana, for Jeff Anderson, and it was a blessing. I mean, I was meant to be there. But that next summer, I'd call Coach Oriema.
Yeah, let's get to that now.
And I'd say, hey, Coach, I'd worked his basketball camp, and he has a really great sense of humor. He's an underdog, which people forget. He came to the United States, goes to, lives in Philadelphia. His parents,
PA, right?
Parents don't speak English. He's, transferring the currency, and, he becomes like the spokesperson, he and his brother, for his family. And, he's an underdog. So I think he saw that in me. I also have a good sense of humor. I was a class clown. He has a great sense of humor. And I called his house, on the dial-up phone. Remember those things? And I said, "Hey, Coach, it's Colleen Healy. I was wondering if I could try out for your team." And he said, "Well, you're moving up divisions. You're going to have to sit out a year. You want to be the manager." And
was he shocked that you called his house first?
Yeah.
Back then, I guess you could.
I mean, back then, kids called coaches.
Right.
And back then, kids were like their own advocates and just showed up where they wanted to be.
Back then, it was a different,
And I think he liked the guts of that, first of all. And he said, Colleen, if you want to be manager, there's no guarantees. There's no guarantees that when you walk on the court the next year, they're going to make it. And what do you think? I said, absolutely. I absolutely wanted to see if I was, good enough to play on that team and smart enough.
I got goosebumps. This is
smart
great.
enough to pass the class, because when I was at Wyndham and it was announced that I had a scholarship, it was a homeroom in the morning, and I was proud, but I was also nervous. There was a faculty person in another room that whispered to one of my teammates, "Colleen's not smart enough to pass the class. She'll never play at that level." And at 18 years old, that can take you two different ways. It can either defeat you, or I'm an Irish kid from here. I mean, I have 3-4 generations, in Willimantic. My immigrant, Irish kin came here to work at American Thread.
She's a true hometown Thread.
I'm a true hometown Thread. So it lit the fire in me. And I remember it to this day, just as I remember you with Tevye. Now I'll remember the ring. And so I sat out that year, but I was sweeping the floors. I was turning on the lights by myself. And I know people down here in Willimantic thought I was crazy 7 miles away.
They should make a movie about this. I'm dead serious.
I mean, you just won a national championship. You could be a good basketball player at Eastern. You could be a good softball player, and you walked up there, and you may never play again. And that was the reality. And believe me, I was scared. But I never missed a class. I never missed practice. He used me to play defense.
So you were like on the practice squad.
Yeah, but I'd also be filling the water bottles, and I knew people thought I was crazy. The next year, so a year of not knowing. That's what courage is, by the way.
That is.
When people want to know what courage is taking a big risk and not knowing the outcome. You have no idea, and you put it all out there. And you're willing to accept the consequences. And the next year, I'd walk on to the basketball court for my first tryout. This is 92.
Okay.
And it's the first year for Rebecca Lobo, walks on the same practice court as me as a freshman. It's our first day of practice together. I'm trying out, and she's changing the trajectory of the program, right?
That's right.
And so when people say, well, do you wish you were there at a different time? Absolutely not.
She was there right when the culture was changing.
That's right. I wouldn't change a thing. I mean, I was a manager of the first Final Four. So that's Carrie Bascom, Laura Lishnas, Meg Como, Pattison, that whole team.
95.
They were my great friends, but I just happened to be filling their water bottles.
Rosati, too, right?
No, Rosati didn't show up.
I thought she was part of 90. Oh.
No, this is 1991, the first Final Four.
Oh, the first Final Four. I'm sorry. I'm thinking 95.
The first championship is 95. But
so
I was there during those years,
What was Lobo highly recruited?
I don't know anything about. I think
I
think she was the more heavily recruited of anyone coming in.
Yep.
I wouldn't know those things.
But you got to practice with them.
I got to try out, for 15 days, and then Chris Lamb walked up and said, "Colleen, you need to pick up your uniform. We're taking pictures." And I said, "I made the team." She said, "Yeah."
Oh my God! What was that? Oh,
that was like the movie Rudy.
Yes, Rudy.
That's
I was just
exactly.
gonna say that. It's a Rudy moment.
You're like, "Oh my God!" I'm getting the chills thinking about it. And it's my life.
What was the first thing you did once you found out? Like, what did you do?
Well, first of all, there's no cell phones, right? So you want to get to a phone. You want to get to a dial-up or rotary phone.
Or a payphone back then.
Call your parents.
Well, you're right down the street. Yeah.
I mean, and the thing is, when I quit New Haven and went to Eastern, it was an economic burden for my parents that didn't have it. And we had a very heated discussion on High Street. And it ended up with tears and misunderstanding. My dad came up to my bedroom and said, "Babe, why are you doing this?" I said, "Dad, I don't want to be 30 years old and wonder if I was good enough." And my dad's like, "You got to do it." My mom she didn't want me to fail and get hurt. So she was being a mom.
She was being a mom.
My dad was like, "I don't want you to have any regrets." And so, I want to say is my dad brought us here because it was his dad's dad's dad that was a night watch at American Thread. That's what brought us to Willimantic. But it was my dad that made me believe it's okay for you to be on the boys' team, go play Little League, try out for Tevye. Because I always knew no matter what I did, if I did it as best as I could, he would still be my number one fan.
I remember following all the spots that I've jumped around doing radio, and that's why I'm glad you sent me this stuff to get caught up, because you lose track over the years.
Yeah.
But I remember going, man, I never had a doubt you'd be.
Well,
that story you told me, I didn't surprise me, because I'm getting a little choked up because I'm so happy for you. You love to hear stories like that.
Yeah.
Know?
Well, I think more kids need to hear it. I think we're living in a society where people are afraid to fail because it's so public now. I'm grateful I didn't have that pressure where everything was on Facebook. It's in the Chronicle. You don't play well, it breaks your heart.
Social media is
it is.
Yeah.
It's in the Hartford Courant. You didn't play well, it breaks your heart. Right now, it's like everywhere. But I would say I would not be who I am if I wasn't willing to fail. It's like lifting weights. Your muscles only get bigger if you're willing to push them to failure. Life is like that. And if you can have a sense of humor about it and know that you're growing, be willing to do hard things. All those things led into the rest of my life of being willing to take risks and laugh and have a sense of humor and just know at least I have the guts to get in the arena. And most people won't do it. So I hope more people are listening. Misfits, people that don't fit in. I mean, that was me. I was a tomboy. I didn't dress like anyone else. I still don't dress like anyone else. Like, follow your own path. Believe in yourself, but show up in the places you want to be. Keep good company and go after your dreams, and don't let anyone get in the way of that. Just find the right people.
You still hear that guidance counselor's voice, and you must make you feel good, all the success you have.
Oh, yeah. Well, listen, when anyone doubts me, I go back and say, we'll see. We'll see if I can't play. And, it goes to playing for the best. Not only did I play for UConn, he ends up being a Hall of Famer. He ends up changing the game. I played with, I think, 3 Hall of Famers now, between Jen Rosati, one of my best friends. Shout out to Jen. Go to Connecticut Sun games this year. So last year, it's great basketball. We're spoiled. Please go there. Jamel Elliott, Carla Berube, a great friend of mine, now going to Northwestern. There was an abundance of good people and talented people, and they're still in my life.
What a connection. So you guys must have this giant UConn thread, right?
We do. We stay in touch, and we're here for each other. What are you doing now, Colleen? Can I help you out? Where are you now? Coming to their games. Showing up is just supporting people. Texting, hey, I saw you lose, man. Sorry, man. Just saying hugs when there's a tough loss. There aren't the right things to say, but knowing your friends are there for you, those are great things that you can do.
Debbie's over here now, right?
She's I see Debbie quite at the Final Fours, etc. Yeah,
she's she does the radio with
she's great.
Bob Joyce.
Yeah, I love Debbie.
That's another thing you could have done. You could have done radio or TV.
I did radio for 1 year, but
that's right. Wait, you were on?
I did CBS radio with Bob Joyce.
Okay,
for one season.
Well, you were on our station.
I was. That's right.
That's right. I forgot you did it for a year. What year was that? Do you remember?
I don't. But all I knew is I remember work with my full-time job at the time, biotech, et cetera. I had to travel quite a bit, and I just couldn't.
Well, you could do TV work too. You ever think about getting into that field?
That's what I got my master's in, was in broadcast communications. Then I got my actually that was my bachelor's. I got my master's in teaching. And that's what I thought I would do. But then I got into pharma, worked for WebMD. Now I'm at a small biotech company.
Get us caught up, because I definitely want to go back to I could definitely see you calling games on TV. Being a color analyst.
Where I am now is I work for just a great small biotech company out of South San Francisco. It's called Cytokinetics. We're a muscular biology company. We just launched our first therapeutic in hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, which is thickening of the heart. Who's the player, Reggie Lewis, when he died in Celtics. That's what it was. And in the past, there wasn't a lot of things that you could do for patients. It would be surgery. And now there's medications that can help those patients. My dad died of heart failure. We actually have a pipeline drug for heart failure as well. So this is a company that's very meaningful to me. And the older I get, everything I do personally and professionally has to have meaningfulness onto my values, and this company is aligned with that.
Colleen Healy's with us, the great Colleen Healy from Willimantic, Connecticut, and now living in Tampa here on Hometown Threads, episode 141, brought to you by Liberty Bank, Be Community Kind. So what made you want to go down this path now? As connected as you still are to sports, and I just brought up the whole TV radio thing.
Well, for fun, I'm a course facilitator for Stanford Graduate School of Business Lead Executive Program, which allows me to coach. So I'm an executive coach. It just happens to be in leadership and how we can connect with people to, increase and improve team dynamics. So I teach skills such as self-awareness, awareness of others, so that we can better work with one another. You can apply that for your professional life or personal life. I also do some side, the company with Missy West, who's a keynote speaker and inner critic.
Can we mention that she's here today?
She's here today.
Missy West.
She played basketball at Duke.
Played at Duke, so we got Duke and a little UConn going here.
So she's a full time keynote speaker on crushing the inner critic. You know, that voice that gets in the way of us going towards our dreams and getting the things we want. And on occasion, she invites me to do workshops or keynotes on building trust in teams and how far that can go. It seems like a soft skill, but it has hard outcomes. When we trust one another, we bring out our best selves, we get better outcomes, and we win more games, or we win as an organization.
All comes back to sports.
That's what I do for fun, and I've learned from the best and played with the best, and I wasn't always the best at it when I was in it. And now from that lens, I can understand how I could have been a better teammate. I also have the objective data that comes from Stanford that allows me that confidence that I have.
Stanford's a pretty good school.
Yeah, it's not bad to be associated, but when you go back to that quote, when that person said she'll never pass a class in college, and she'll never play a game in college. Well, not only did I play at UConn. I played for Gino Auriemma.
Gino Auriemma.
I played with Rebecca Lobo, Jen Rosati, Carla Berube, and now I'm a contracted course facilitator at Stanford Graduate School of Business. So I guess they weren't right about that quote. I guess
this is something I don't think I've ever done, and I've known her for years. I don't think I was ever able to give her a high five. Also, I know Missy's taking some footage over here for your social media and stuff like that, and the website. Do you mind telling us how you guys met? Or
well, can I first just make sure? I want to thank this town. I mean, I thank St. Mary St. Joseph's, but I've been thinking a long time about the fact that in the UConn program it says I was from Wyndham, and I am from Willimantic. I'm from High Street, which is Willimantic,
right next door to Wyndham.
That's
High.
right.
I know that. I think you every time I drive by your house.
Right next door. But you know everything from Mrs. Smith picking me up in the winter and driving me to St. Mary St. Joseph's to Mrs. Young and me playing with all the boys and the parents not
Mrs.
caring
Young's
about
still
it.
Walking around here.
That's right. St. Mary St. Joseph's and allowing me to play in the boys team. Kids like Keith Rice who treated me with respect when I was the only girl trying out for Tevye. Bobby Turner, Robbie Leonard, Timmy Strand, Kevin Young, all those boys. It was all boys and me.
Did I kind of have game a little?
You're right. Yeah, you're feisty.
Could I hang?
You've got some tenacity and you've got the sense of humor, so we'd love you anyway, right?
I wanted to
but
play
this
more
town, this grit, and we're known for that. When I say I'm from Willimantic, it doesn't matter. If you've heard of it, it's like, okay, there's a respect there.
Be proud of where you're from.
Be proud of where you're from. Dig into that grit, because if you have grit, you can outperform anyone with talent and skill. You will eventually, if you stick with it, you can accomplish anything. I mean, I am a pure example of that. I couldn't be happier with living in my full, authentic self. It may take a while, but just hang out with the right people, keep good company. This is a great town, and it produces great things. And I think you've seen that in the show. And I've seen that on the show because I watch it myself. So I want to thank you for having me.
I'm honored. You watch my show?
I do.
A couple of things. Can you get in quickly how you and Missy met? And then before you get into that, unless you don't want to. But all right, here's a better question.
Yeah.
I want to know, do you guys ever play one-on-one anymore? Who could you beat her?
I'm going to answer this question as objectively as possible. Missy will beat me in one-on-one. She's a better basketball player. But I beat her in Ironman. So I'm a 3-time Ironman. She's a 2-time Ironman. That heads back to just the resilience factor that you learn as being an athlete, overcoming injuries, etc. So she's got the basketball edge. I've got the endurance edge. Would you agree with that, Miss? She's nodding her head.
You guys are still in great shape. Do you both play pickup games at all?
No, I want to keep my ankles and Achilles tendons. I'm 100 years old. I don't move laterally. I can go 140 miles straight on a bike and running and swimming. But you move me side to side. Pickleball is like my nemesis. There's no way it's going to happen. I'm not going to lose, my Achilles tendon to a paddle ball or
That's right. We are in our 50s now.
That's right. I know my age. So do my joints. So do my ankles and knees.
I know. I'm 54. You're 55. And sometimes, I may not act like it. That's why I forget I'm 54. But it's all about, always be a kid at heart. You said some great things about Willimantic. I know we got to wrap things up here. So, by the way, is there anything else that we left out that you want to mention? You said some great things about this town, which are absolutely spot on.
Yeah.
And you kind of gave me a little inspiration. I tried to do this a little while ago. I'm going to say it now. If somebody wants to steal it, go ahead. I don't care. Well, I do care. I wanted to get shirts made up. Because you lived in Philly for a while, too, as did I. It's a Philly thing. I thought over time we could get shirts. It's a Willie thing.
I love it.
Willi.
Yeah.
I try to, I still want to pursue it. No,
I think I saw Kenny Borges. You wanted to blast
Kenny Borges.
He had straight out of Willimantic.
Oh, yeah.
I love that shirt. I would absolutely. I mean, you send me something. I want a romantic Willimantic shirt. I don't even have that.
Would you believe Chris Beaudry, who's a well-known name around here, he runs the River Room next door and all that. I think that's the only thing he owns, right, Matt? Yeah. You always see him wearing romantic Willimantic shirts. I keep telling him, Would you believe I don't have one?
Yeah.
Those things came out when we were growing up.
Well, at Nassif's, where I got my first hard-shelled Adidas, and I played my little high tops up there. So, yeah, I guess the only thing, like from a transitioning as I get older is, I do some keynote speaking. We do workshops in building trust. I'm also an executive coach. I don't take on many clients because I work full-time. I travel quite a bit. And when I used to train for Ironmans, which was all weekend, I don't do that anymore. So now I fill that with either my Stanford role or executive coaching. So, but the whole thing, Keith, was I just want to reconnect to this town. The girl left Willimantic. Willimantic never left the girl, and I want to make sure of that because I never had a chance to do it all these years. What a special place to grow up, and thank everyone. I can't thank everyone by name who believed in me when I did not, and allowed me to be a misfit, allowed me to be exactly myself, which allowed me to achieve everything I have. So
I am honored that you not only watched my show, but we made this work because I know you living in Tampa now. So thank you so much for coming up and squeezing in a little time for Hometown Threads here on WILI and Willimantic. And I'm sure I'm speaking for the town. We love you, and we're so glad. We hope you come up.
I love you all back. I really do. I really appreciate you having me. It's so great connecting you.
All right.
So good to see you.
I brought her a ring in second grade. I didn't buy it. I mean, I stole it. Mom, I'm sorry.
I guess I said no. I don't remember the whole proposal, but it must have been a no based on where we are today.
Second grade.
Hey,
what the heck?
Ahead of your time. It's a Renaissance man.
So we'll have to try and get you on Wayne's show. I know you're not up here. We'll have to try and squeeze a little time, get you on Wayne's show.
I would love that.
But thank you so much to Colleen Healy and wife Missy West. Duke. No, anyway.
I know.
All right, so thank you.
World peace is possible. If we can make it work, world peace is possible.
Absolutely.
All right, give peace a chance.
Thank you to Colleen and Missy and Liberty Bank B Community Con, J. Matt Rupart. Thank you. And that'll do it for episode 141 of Hometown Threads. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And in the words of the great Roddy McCumber,
bye for now, folks. Bye for now.
And that concludes another edition of Hometown Threads. Got a story for Keith? Reach out to him on Facebook by searching Keith C. Rice or email him at krice@hallradio.net. Don't forget to tune in next week on 14 WILI and 95.3 FM, as well as the Willimantic Today page on Facebook.